Hello everybody, welcome back to another video for the day. Now we're going back into r/Tales of Neckbeard, and if you guys want to be absolutely amazing and show your support for these story time format videos, you know the deal. Hit the like button, comment down below during the video if you want to start up a good old discussion, and if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Our first story comes to us from Mars Bars, Neckbeard Stalker on the Train. Hello, first time poster here. This happened a few months ago, but as I was reading through some of these stories, I thought I would share. I'm from the Bay Area in California, and I never learned to drive, so I took public transport every day pre-COVID. I know this story sounds a little out there, but if you have ever been on BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, you know all the crazy types of people you can run into. This is where I first encountered a neckbeard. I'll call him Coffee Beard. I was sitting on the train on my way to a doctor's appointment. My boyfriend had agreed to meet up with me and kill time before it started, so we agreed to meet at the station. I usually stare out the window and space out, but from the corner of my eye, I could see someone staring at me. He sat across the train car, was probably around 19, and looked like he hadn't showered in a month. He didn't match the stereotypical neckbeard look, he wasn't overweight and wasn't wearing a fedora, but his hair was greasy and he looked grimy. I brushed off the staring at first as I was sitting in front of a window, but anytime I looked across the car, I could see him staring directly at me. I figured nothing would come of it, but when I got off at my stop, he followed and came directly up to me. He immediately told me I was beautiful and asked if I had a boyfriend. I said I did, and he asked for his name, obviously not believing me. I told him my boyfriend's name and tried to keep walking down the stairs to the exit gates, but he followed. "Oh, your boyfriend's name was on my Starbucks cup this morning." I had no idea what he was talking about, so I just kept walking and hoped he would leave me alone. He did not. As I walked down the stairs to the exit gates, I thought I had lost him, but then I saw him quickly rushing down the stairs after me. I was about to exit, and the stairs were above me, so he was looking down at me 4 feet above me. "Can I get your number? You're a goddess!" I was kind of surprised and have some issues about not being good at confrontation for fear of being rude. I'm working on it. So for some reason, I decided to tell him no instead of just walking away. Finally, I got out of the exit gates and began to walk down the steps to the street. There's a lot of steps, I know. Halfway down, he appears at the top and starts yelling to talk to me again. He asks for my Snapchat. I tell him I don't use it and try to keep walking, but he continues to follow. Eventually, I end up giving him my Instagram just to get him to leave me alone. Stupid, I know, but he doesn't remember his account name, so he has my follow one of his friends instead. As soon as I get onto the street, I decide to walk a few blocks and hide out in a corner store in case he followed me again. I don't see him again that day, unfollow his friend on Instagram, and text my friend laughing about my first neckbeard encounter. When I met up with my boyfriend, I told him the full story as well. I figured that would be the end of Coffee Beard, but I was so very wrong. On Valentine's Day, me and my boyfriend decided to go to San Francisco and spend the day milling around and going to thrift stores. When it came time to go home, we walked to the nearest BART station. We called an Uber to the station since San Francisco is big and can be a little hard to navigate on foot. And I'm first out of the car since my boyfriend had to wait for the traffic to die down before getting out of the car. I'm a little ways down the block when I pause to wait for him near a street corner. I hear someone yelling, but it's San Francisco, so I assume it has nothing to do with me. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I look at the person yelling, who's now motioning to me, and there he is, Coffee Beard. My boyfriend, who Coffee Beard definitely didn't believe existed, catches up to me pretty quick. Just as I finally recognize Coffee Beard as the creepy guy on BART, I make some comment like, "Oh, you're that guy from BART." So my boyfriend will know this is the creep who followed me. Coffee Beard tells me it's his birthday. I have doubts, so I say congratulations and turn my attention elsewhere, hoping he'll leave me alone. Obviously, we can see how great that had worked for me in the past, and once again, he continues trying to talk to me. When that doesn't work, he tries to insult my boyfriend. I think he tried to criticize his style, which is ironic because it's one I share and one Coffee Beard had complimented me on in our previous encounter. He tries to start a fight with my boyfriend before the light finally turned green and we were able to escape Coffee Beard once and and for all, hopefully. Our next story comes to us from username No State Greenery. Neckbeard pities himself after not getting kitty from his roommates. So this story is kinda still ongoing, but not much has happened since the tale I'm about to tell you. I oftentimes thought about this specific individual, but only lately have I realized how well his tale fits into this sub, and let me start in the beginning. The prologue. My friends and I are big into punk rock. You know, fast music, oi, strong beers, and a very open and tolerant mindset. This is exactly what will get us into this beardy situation we are in now. We often hang out in our local squat autonomous culture center, as most punks do. Usually, it's very nice there, and people are non-judgmental if you get too drunk or act weird. Unfortunately, this sometimes attracts really messed up people who kinda see it as some crooked way of a safe space. Most of the time, you can hush them away. This was impossible with Hobbitbeard, as I like to call him. One day, we were just hanging out on a couch when the probably cringiest sight I have ever seen IRL arrives. A rather small and slim but bearded guy with glasses wielding a 2-meter druid staff, wearing military pants and a brown hobbitish cape with the Lord of the Ring leaf brooch. I absolutely adore Tolkien, but this, not so much. A female friend of mine, let's call her Street Cat awkwardly, said hello to him since he stood there for a while just staring at us, or into nothingness, I don't know. He then made himself known and sat with us through the evening. We were talking about D&D since me and one of my male friends had just gotten into it. Hobbitbeard was already an expert, what a surprise. So the evening goes by without anything weird happening, but we all could feel that destiny was bestowed a great challenge unto us. The empty room. At this point in this time, all roommates of Street Cat decided to move out, so she had to find 3 people as replacement, otherwise she wouldn't be able to pay rent. She quickly recruited our mutual female friend, let's call her Rathead for her cause, and also a good male friend of mine. So Street Cat only needed to find 1 more roommate, and her time was running out. But one evening, Street Cat met Hobbitbeard again, and surprise, surprise, he was looking for a place to live. Street Cat, being the kind girl to treat everyone the same, invited him into the last empty room where he moved in. That means he just brought his mattress and his gaming computer and some clothes, everything his lair needed. Most of the time, he would be gaming or smoking. Every time I talked to him when I visited my friends, he told me some weird stuff about how he fought off a kidnapper as a kid and how inanimate objects have souls, etc. A failed romance. Street Cat and Rathead were quick to notice that Hobbitbeard wasn't a pleasant roommate. He would constantly try to integrate himself into their conversations, kinda creepily hover around them, or even get out of bed in the morning as soon as he heard them being awake. Street Cat began to suspect that he had a crush on her. He acted even weirder around her and always tried to invite himself in when she was going somewhere with us. Critical point is that Hobbitbeard is 35 years old, 10 years older than Street Cat. I mean, yes, there are lovers with a bigger difference, but you gotta reflect, this kinda old dude lives with someone who just moved out of their home, and acts like this, people who legitimately just moved out of their parents' houses. Street Cat began to be disgusted by him, and Rathead started trying to avoid him as well, but oh boy, this wasn't the end of it. The letter. Approximately 1 month into this living situation, something unforeseen happens. Hobbitbeard leaves a weird letter in the waste paper bin, in a way that everyone can find it. This letter would be absolute proof of all theories made up in the past.
Dear Street Cat and Rathead, I can't help myself but to write to you about my deepest feelings. I somehow developed a crush on both of you, and there is nothing I can do against it.
There was more written here, but these were the most relevant lines. Street Cat and Rathead were understandably angry. I mean, what was he trying to achieve? That one of his gals finds the letter and burns up in hot love to him? There wasn't even poetry or something like that on it. It was written like those weird information letters big companies write when they steer into a crisis. Street Cat and Rathead just ignored him completely after that. When I visited one day, Hobbitbeard and I talked. The conversation went something like this.
I assume you heard what happened.
Yes, I did. You messed up, man.
I just feel so unwelcome here.
Not that big of a surprise, isn't it? Maybe you should try online dating to try a girlfriend and to prove that you don't just lust after your roommates.
Yeah, but this is impossible for me to have feelings for a girl if I don't know her so well. My mother was overprotective when I was a kid and stuff. Remember, he's 35.
I tried my best to be supportive and stuff, but in retrospect, I should have been harder. I really tried to convince him to date someone, but he just ignored my well-intended recommendations. Nothing changed much directly after the incident, except that he tried to play victim and kinda convinced my male friends that he had mental problems by doing that. The aftermath. What really angers me is how he fricked up Street Cat's vision of her ideal home. Her place was like a utopia to hang out at and to party together, but now both Street Cat and Redhead are moving out because they won't stand his hobbit shenanigans any longer. And my male friends nonetheless protect this poopy head? I can't grasp it. He still pushed his version of the story that his mother was too protective of him, and now he demands more empathy and maybe even messing around for my female friends. What was he thinking by making the bold claim to have a crush on both of them? It's like this weird off-brand intro story where they have a threesome in the end. Moral of the story, if you get weird vibes of a person, check twice before you let them move in. TLDR, Neckbeard moves in with a woman and starts making advances on both of them whilst pitying himself that his mother was too protective of him to justify it. Yeah, see, this is sometimes the downside of having roommates. They can get really weird at sometimes. And what really sucks is they can ruin the whole moving out experience for you, so you gotta try to restart the whole thing over again, and that's a big hassle. Hopefully you're able to find a new place to live that doesn't have a creep living in it. Our last story comes to us from username Fabulous Little Queen. Might finally get that restraining order against Neckbeard Sr. Hey everyone, so I posted a screenshot in another subreddit about this, but figured I'd go into a bit more detail here. So, as you know, Neckbeard Sr. has been harassing me for a while. Lately, he started using his girlfriend's social media account to message me, getting pissy when I told him I do not wish to speak to him anymore, name-calling, threats, etc. The main point of the argument always comes back to Neckbeard Sr. being pissed that I called the cops on his son, the one that took the audio recording of my boyfriend and I being intimate, y'all know what I mean, and got off to it, which honestly I don't think should be encouraged and definitely warranted Neckbeard Jr. getting into trouble. We thankfully got a restraining order against him. So after the original argument, he posted on his girlfriend's Facebook. I still don't know how he managed to get a girlfriend. He is not a nice person. I'll post that in the link as well if anyone is curious, but the sum of the post, it was directed at me. He spoke about femboys, not a fan of that word to be honest, and how they can't handle being called nicknames and always want to make him look like a butthole. Bart, please, you are a butthole. And just generally insulting me without mentioning my name. I have since blocked his girlfriend. Then I started getting messages from another account. Same deal. He tries to flirt with me, tries to make conversation sexual, knowing full well I have a boyfriend and am generally not interested, and then starts with the insults again when he gets shut down. He has a habit of calling me as well. I had around 15 missed calls in a row from that second account. The conversation in the link is from the third account, which is the most recent one. He has recently, in like the last 4 to 5 days, started messaging my boyfriend as well, insulting him, telling him he is not good enough for me, insulting me, making really disgusting comments. Remember, boyfriend and I are in our early 20s, whilst Neckbeard Sr. is in his late 40s. It's been making us really uncomfortable, but when we spoke to the police, we got told some BS about how we can't get a restraining order as he hasn't showed up at our house or anything. He is high-risk ATM due to his health problems, so he can't leave the house. However, he has made a few threats of violence in the past 2 or 3 days, and boyfriend and I are thinking it might be enough to get that restraining order, fingers crossed. Anyways, I thought I'd add a little update. Kinda been going mad during lockdown and figured I'd see what y'all think about the situation. Am I doing the right thing? Here's the link to the conversation and the Facebook post screenshots. Hope y'all are holding up during lockdown and have a great day. Edit, it's done. I will soon be a free man. I contacted the police not long after I posted this, after a particularly disgusting threat, which I'm not even going to bother repeating. I finally had enough and contacted the police. They gave him a warning and advised me to get a restraining order. I took their advice and am currently in the process of getting it sorted. They did warn me that there could be a bit of a delay, but they're doing their best to get it sorted out ASAP. I feel so relaxed knowing that I don't have to worry about mine or David David's safety, and we finally move on from this. This is hopefully the end of the current Neckbeard saga, though I'll probably post some more funny and cringy, if it's a little creepy, stories about the Neckbeard clan from back in the day, but hope to not have to post any more updates on the current situation. Good riddance, Neckbeard Sr., I won't miss you. And with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you had liked what you had seen and you want to be supportive, be sure to slam the like button, comment down below what you liked about the video, and if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.